Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hellacious Hero Returns. I am Hellacious Hero Joe, and today is going to be a new episode of a bit that I've done before called the Collector's Crusade. I got a really cool new collectible I want to share with you, and of course it has to do with Batman. Yeah, Batman. So I want to show you what it is real quick. It's actually two pieces, but they go together, and then I'll show you some other media that's involved with the theme of today's episode. And if you read the title or you saw the preview, the opening sequence, you might know what it's about. Today's Collector's Crusade is MCFARLANE Toys Batman Death Metal from Dark Knight's Death Metal on the motorcycle on the back, and the accompanying piece is the motorcycle itself. Look at that skeletal bat motorcycle. So cool, so rad. This is from Death Metal. Let's get those two cracked open real quick, and then we'll talk about the media that surrounds it. Some other memorabilia from Dark Knight's Death Metal by Snyder and Capullo. An amazing creative team on Batman in general, with all their main continuity on Batman was fantastic, with Court of the Owls and that whole story arc and Bloom and Endgame, and I can go on and on and on. 0 Year, which the new Batman movie takes bits and pieces from, with the Riddler character and Batman himself and his development. Just super, super cool stuff. You get a chance to read anything by Scott Snyder and the art by Greg Capullo. Highly recommend it. It's amazing. It's amazing. It might be top 3 of my all-time favorite Batman creative teams ever. Because growing up, like I said, I like Kelly Jones. Obviously, Jim Lee's amazing. Grant Morrison was amazing. But so many. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale was amazing. The list goes on. Dozens and dozens of guys who are doing Batman. And Tinian stuff now is really good. So it's endless, and that's why he's so good and my favorite character, and that's why I have all these collectibles, because he's just amazing. But I'm using a Colombian River knife and tool, CRKT M16 knife. Pretty cool. If you've seen some of my past videos with Collector's Crusade, you know I'm a knife collector too. So Collector's Crusade, I collect knives. Let's do Batman first. Let's cut him open. On the back of the box, you get, the cool artwork, and then there's some collectible pictures down here of some other characters to collect. Other than that, there's really not a lot included on the actual box. It just says collect them all, and then there's a couple different languages. And it is cool though. On the back, there is a little tidbit from where this character is from. So it says Source Dark Knight's Death Metal #1 Comics 2020. So that's where it tells you it's from. It says each figure comes with a collectible trading card. You can see that behind him too. Up in the corner, there's a little trading card. So let's see what that looks like too. Let's cut this open and see what it looks like. The box is pretty simplistic, like I said. 3 pieces of tape on top. One on this side, one on this side, one on the back. So I'm just going to take the knife to the sides first. I'm trying to be careful with it, because these things are collectibles, and you probably don't really need the box, but for storage, if you want to save it, put it back in later, I always say, be careful with the box. So, now we'll get to the figure in a second. It looks like he's secured in there with a little bit of a, plastic safety harness around him, just some wire, as you can see, around his waist there. And then the scythe is encased with its own little piece too. We'll use the knife to cut that open here in a second. The box itself then, you pretty much kind of have to, I guess, destroy it. So I guess you can't really be safe, right? So I'm probably going to have to destroy this, because the base that he were to stand on, which I'm not going to put him on, I'm going to put him on the motorcycle. See, it's already getting destroyed the inside. So I guess if you really wanted to keep it, you'd have to be super careful. Get a scalpel out, right? But let's see what the card says. The card's like the picture on the back of the box. It's Batman on the motorcycle. says Batman, Dark Knight's Death Metal, data file. Source, Dark Knight's Death Metal #1, Comics 2020. Just like it said on the side of the box. Real name, Bruce Wayne. Height, 6'2", which would be 1.88 meters. Weight, 210 pounds or 95 kilograms. And it says there's a little summary here. Following the universe-shattering events of Dark Knight's Metal, the Earth is enveloped by the Dark Multiverse and is transformed into a hellish landscape twisted beyond recognition. Willing to sacrifice his own humanity for the greater good, Batman wields an evil Black Lantern power ring which grants him the power to resurrect the dead. Now, leading an army of zombies and riding a BATCYCLE made of bones, the Dark Knight wages war against the Batman who laughs and his omnipotent goddess Perpetua in his mission to save the DC multiverse. So this is kind of cool too, because that black power ring is Blackest Night. Necron, the evil guy with the scythe, he has like this big thing, and that's kind of what Batman is becoming with this black power ring, hence the scythe. You know, Cronus in Greek mythology, like he ruled time, the ruler of time. Very similar kind of thing. Grim Reaper, that's where that comes from. So really neat, you know, development for the character. So I'm going to put this card aside. We'll take the base out. Next. Okay. So this is the base, just a little piece of black plastic with a place for the foot. I guess we'll put them on there and try it. I'm going to take him out of the box now and see what it's like. Be really careful with this because I don't want to cut him. That's the only thing I would say for anybody else buying this figure. Be careful because I'm using a knife, but I'll say this, like that little plastic band that's around his waist is really close to his body, so be careful if you're using a knife. You know, on second thought, with this piece, I probably should have used scissors. There's actually one wrapped around his feet, too, on the very bottom, so I'm going to cut that, too. And now for the scythe. And then you kind of just be careful, but you kind of just pop them out of the plastic. So here's what he looks like up close and personal. I mean, it is really badass looking. Very, very cool. With the scythe, this really cool badass leather jacket, the gauntlets, the back is very detailed. And these are McFarlane figures. Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn. He did a lot of work for DC and Marvel too before he created Spawn the character and co-founded Image Comics with Eric Larson and a couple other guys. But he always had really cool action figures. Even when I was a kid, I loved his action figures. He had a lot of Spawn stuff. He does sports. And this thing is like super mobile. Like, you can articulate a lot of pieces on it. The head can move up or down. You can turn it sideways. So it's very, very versatile. You know, you can move it. Pretty neat. Same thing with the body. The wrists articulate. Everything. The feet. The knees. See the feet moving here. See if I can see it move. Yeah, it's cool. The wrist comes in and out. Shoulder, elbow, everything. It's awesome. But I love the design. You can see the silver bat belt buckle, the bat emblem on his chest. He looks badass. I love this version of the character. I love a lot of different versions of Batman, obviously, because I'm a Batman fan, but there he is. Now, while we wait, there's two little, like, empty, hollowed-out holes in the bottom of his feet. One of them you can stick on the base for him to stand on. This is my first McFarlane collectible figure, actually. I'm ashamed to say it because I've always loved Todd McFarlane, but this is the first time I've got the figure. And yeah, voila, he's kind of sitting there on the base. Pretty cool looking. Looks like a badass, right? So now that he's all good to go, he's kind of just chilling there. I'm going to put this stuff aside and let's crack the motorcycle open. The BATCYCLE, really cool. I'm just going to cut one side open. One side, open it like that. And you can just pull it right out. Put the box over here. That was actually easier to open than the actual figure itself. Now this is a little more complicated. We got all these little black zip ties on it. So in that way, I'm glad I got the knife. This piece looks like it's a lot sturdier, so I'm going to cut these zip ties off because they are rather snug. And then you kind of just pull the bike out. And we'll get to it. Like I said, we'll get to it. You kind of have to unwind the zip ties around there. Cool. The bike, I'm like, the bike is freaking sweet looking. And now I'm going to take the trading card out. Cool. And it's Batman on the bike. Batman Who Laughs is behind him. He's riding off into destiny, right? Let's read the back of this one. It says BATCYCLE. Data file. Source. Dark Knight's Death Metal #1. Comics 2020. Length. 9 foot 4 inches. 2.84 meters. Width. 3 feet 6 inches. 1.07 meters. Height. 3 foot 7 inches. 1.09 meters. Weight. 600 pounds. 272.15 kilograms. Following the universe-shattering events of Dark Knight's Metal, it's pretty much the same thing. The Earth is enveloped in... Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Now, the thing it changes is everything up to hellish landscape twisted beyond recognition like the other one. Then it says, commanding an army of the undead, Batman rides a BATCYCLE made from bones of a Joker dragon in his war against the Batman Who Laughs. And his omnipotent goddess Perpetua, the Batman Who Laughs and Perpetua. So a little bit different, but very similar text and wording on the back. Pretty cool to have this little neat card if you want to collect it. But now that that's being said and done, let's try to get him on this cycle. And I'm going to show the cycle off first. Look at this thing. I'm going to move Batman out of the way here so we can look at the cycle. Wow. I love the detail. Look at the face. It's so cool. The bones are like really well done. The big fat tire in the back, and this thing spins like it's spinning. See that? Can you see it spinning? The front wheel too spins. And the Bat logo is in the front wheel on this one. You see that? Batman. And it's on the back wheel on the other side on this one. See it back here? And I think they did that because the exhaust is on this side and you couldn't see it, so they kind of switched it up. But it's so cool. It's so detailed. It's awesome. There's a footrest on here. The handlebars are really well detailed. I mean, it looks awesome. Like, I love it so much. It's so cool looking. It's so mean and like, such a cool thing. Let's get Batman on the bike and check it out. Alright, so for what it is, that's kind of what it looks like. He's kind of on there, sitting. I'll sit it down in front here. I have his head tilted, so he looks like he's looking at you. And the thing that's so cool about it is it moves. It's like Batman's driving by. That looks so cool. That's so awesome. I love it. I think it looks so neat. It's such a cool piece. Now I have his head turned like he's looking on the drive, but you can, if you want to, twist his head forward so he's looking straight ahead on the bike with the scythe in his hand. What a cool piece. So neat. Absolutely phenomenal piece. Righteous. I'm still looking at it like blown away by it. I think it's awesome. So cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, granted, if you've seen some of my videos, Diamond Select videos, like these statues I have up here, this Batman, I have Batman metal below. This isn't PVC, this isn't like resin. It's an action figure. So these are more like figures as opposed to statues. But the quality of an action figure, and this is two separate pieces. I had to have both though, so it's good quality for what it is. It really truly is good quality. It's very, very nice. Looks very, very cool. And for me, it's more of an aesthetic thing. It'll look neat on my shelf with the rest of the stuff, so my other Batman stuff and all that. So, yeah. I think it looks so cool. I'm excited to add it to the collection, and I'll be putting it on the shelf very, very soon. This one, I gotta find a place for it, so yeah, I'm gonna put him aside and talk about some supplemental stuff if you're interested in any of this death metal universe. This is the same Batman. This is the Pop. McFarlane also makes a toy of almost the same identical Batman, but instead of the scythe in his hands, he has the guitar. Really cool toy if you can get that too. Action figure, if you can get your hands on that. But this is the Pop from Batman. It says guitar solo, but it's from death metal. It actually says death metal right before death metal Batman guitar solo. So this is a neat Pop. Really cool. And it's from the same story arc and everything, same storyline. And again, that storyline is Dark Knight's death metal. There he is. Batman with the scythe. So it's from this book by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Highly recommend it. It's awesome. Especially if you like metal. Metal was awesome. This takes it a step further. Just an awesome series if you love Batman. Definitely check it out. Another cool thing, I collect vinyls as well, a lot of soundtrack vinyls. This is the Dark Knight's death metal vinyl for like a vinyl record. And up there he is on the motorcycle. You see the BATCYCLE, which is what the action figure is. Let's hold it up and compare. There's him. Let's see what the BATCYCLE looks like if I can get my hands on it here. I'm going to grab it by the top. Check it out. Oh, yeah. Super cool. But yeah, definitely worth it if you're into the McFarlane collecting stuff. And as I said, don't go in here looking for resin quality or PVC quality like Diamond Select. When I first started making those Diamond Select videos about the collectibles they sold and the stuff that I received, that was a couple months after COVID hit, and they were like really cheap. They were going for like $35, $40 maximum for these things, the PVC Diamond Select. And recently, really the middle of 2021 and now even early 2022, the price on those in particular, Diamond Select, has skyrocketed. They're a lot more expensive. They're a lot rarer to find. So if you have some and you've collected them for a while, hold on to them because they're really rare. Like stuff that I paid $35, $40 for is now like $80, $90, $100, $120, $150, depending on what it is. So hold on to that stuff. And McFarlane's going to keep churning stuff out. He also has like a black label or gold label line. And he has a premium line, which is like a premium line for stuff. And he does do statues. He's coming out with a new statue of the Batman by Robert Pattinson that he played. It's going to be cool. I think it's $39.99 for that statue, and he has a Paul Dano, Edward Nash, and Riddler statue, $39.99. But they're actual statues. They're not figures, so they're worth the price. They're 12-inch too, 12-inch statues. Definitely worth it. On Amazon, you can pre-order it now, $39.99. McFarlane Toys. Check it out. If you love Batman like me and you're interested, this could be the way to go for you. This could be the way to go for you. But as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching. I always appreciate the support. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a blast. Keep collecting your action figures, your comics, your vinyls, everything you love to do, and just enjoy it, and live it up and be yourself and have fun. And in other words, if you're passionate about stuff, be passionate about it, love it, express yourself. That's what it's about. So take care, everyone. I'll see you guys next time.
Can I get a lift, man?